Malfurion versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer, I must protect the wild.
I'm not sure if I keep these cheap cards against Shaman. I think I really want Doomsayer and Wild Growth. As much as I wouldn't mind ending up with those cards, I don't think I can keep them off the mulligan. I'm gonna try playing Cthulhu's Chosen here. Seems like it shouldn't be that easy for him to deal with it. Shouldn't be that easy for him to deal with it without losing his Trog, I should say. It's a pretty all-in play, though. If he can deal with it, I kinda get wrecked. Wow, he played that into my Chosen. That's gotta feel bad. I think I want to cycle. That also puts the totem in swipe range, if I happen to need to swipe this turn. Yeah, I think I probably will swipe. The Flame Tongue and the spell damage are each pretty threatening on their own, and this leaves the board as clear as possible going into my Azure Drake turn. Alright, so with the thing from below, it looks like he's mid-range. I'm not sure if mid-range is better or worse for me than aggro. I mean, I guess it's better because it's turn 5 and I still have most of my HP. As much as I would love to play Arakoa and have my Veclor online next turn, I can't play a 5-7 into a 5-1. It's just not okay. So I think I'm going to cycle my Wrath on it. Doomsayer just dies if I play it here, but it does soak a lot of damage. I think I'm just going to play the Disciple of Cthulhu. This also activates my Veclor. And as long as I kill the Searing Totem, he doesn't have, like, the easiest way in the world to deal with the 2-1. I mean, he probably just sends a 2-3 taunt into it, but at least I put damage on something relevant. I think I'm just gonna drop Veclor. He doesn't quite have the damage on board to deal with these, but I'm sure it should be pretty easy for him to get. Okay, that's one Hex down. If I can get him to use the second Hex, I can just play Cthulhu without killing him. I might have to just play Cthulhu anyway, at some point this game. I think I'm just gonna go for Arakoa Doomsayer here. It should be hard for him to bust through the taunt and kill the Doomsayer, but I could really use the breathing room of this Doomsayer going off. Oh cool, looks like it is just gonna go off. He didn't roll for spell damage totem, and if he did get the spell damage totem, a lightning bolt would have been good enough. So maybe I can make the read that he doesn't have lightning bolt. Just gonna nourish here. Could definitely use some cards. There was some argument to playing Lunar Visions instead of nourish, just because maybe if I drew like an Azure Drake or something I could play it this turn. But I think I'd rather just get the extra card. And given the cards I drew, it looks like playing the Lunar Visions would have been a mistake.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
Warriors, come out to play.
These are his first Jade Golems, but they are ramping up a little quick. I have a Swipe in my deck. Swipe would be really, really good here if I could draw it. Let's go for Lunar Visions. No Swipe, but the Feral Rage is pretty nice. I can try to cycle my Wild Growths. Still have, what, like 8 cards in the deck, so it's not that likely I would draw it. But I kinda need to draw anyway. And if I get the Swipe, it's so good.
Time waits for no one.
I guess I'm just gonna draw one more time. I'm just gonna mulch the Chieftain so I don't take too much damage. Unfortunately, I leave the Bran up, which means if he has more Jade Golem stuff, it's pretty bad for me. But I kind of get the feeling that most of the cards in his hand aren't that impactful because he hasn't really been playing them. Turns out I was wrong, it was another Jade Chieftain. This is a lot of damage coming at me. If I don't draw Bran this turn, I might be in trouble. I believe he's showing 16, so I'm at 6. Technically, if I just went like double Feral Rage, I'm not dead. Let's see, my Cthulhu is 13. I might just have to try to draw Bran this turn. Or I could just play it safe one more turn, go Arakoa, double Feral Rage. The thing is, even if I play Cthulhu at this point, it might just not be lethal. In fact, it probably won't be lethal. Let's just try to stall for another turn. I don't think he can kill me through this. He's only able to push 9 with this board, and I'm at 22. So if I had gone for the Kun, Aviana, Azure Drake here, there was a 50% chance I would draw Bran, because I could draw either Bran or Nourish. If I wait a turn, I believe it goes up to 67%, and I don't think he can kill me here. I think regardless of my draw, I just have to go for it this turn. Cthulhu's Chosen is not great. Cool, I got Bran. I think this probably still isn't lethal. But my Cthulhu's gonna be pretty fat. 24, I think. Oh, I can't hero power, so I guess he died. Cool. Alright, that's the power of the deck, I guess.
Malfurion versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer, I must protect the wild.
So Wild Growth puts me up to 4, and then I could innervate out a 6-drop theoretically. Okay, so this one is aggro. This should be a much more difficult matchup. Okay, well, I can play a Dark Arakoa next turn, which is pretty nice. Wow, that's a bad turn 2 from him. This is the kind of opener necessary to beat Aggro Shaman with this deck. So my turn 5 is pretty likely to be Disciple of Cthulhu plus Wrath, and then I need something for 6, and then I can play Veclor on 7. I really want to cycle this Wrath. Feral Rage is a really good pickup. Because I will probably need the armor in this matchup, especially since he has the Hunter hero power. Unfortunately, my turn 6 is looking pretty weak at this point. I might just Feral Rage for armor next turn. Or I might use it to clear, depending on what he does. And Lava Burst here. Pretty weak. I think I'm gonna go for Hero Power Doomsayer here. It's pretty unlikely that he could... With the Overload, it's like impossible that he could develop and deal with this. So this should go off, I have a clear board, I just slam Veclor. That's not what I wanted to see. Do I want to mulch it? I could also Feral Rage it, but I don't really want to take the 5 damage, especially when it has the Hunter hero power. But I also don't really want to mulch it because Flame Wreath Faceless is in his deck. I'm just gonna leave it up, go face. If I mulched that and then he played a 4-mana 7/7, I'd feel pretty bad. The Flame Tongue is disappointing. I'm glad I killed the 1/1, because if I didn't, then that plus Patches with the Flame Tongue would have killed my other 4/6. He still had the answer though. That's a good swipe. That's a really good swipe because it can go face. I actually have Feral Rage for lethal next turn if he doesn't do anything. Okay, so I'm 3 damage off. I think I just play Kun as a 0-mana 7/7 here. And then we mulch this guy. I mean, probably just play Brand too. Fuck it. Use this to clear. And then Innervate never does anything this game, so we just get 1 armor out of it. It's never gonna do anything because I'm out of cards. In before I mulched him a big game hunter. Although he'd only have 2 mana to follow up with. Okay. I have a few lethal draws in my deck. Quite a few, actually. Nourish is very good. None of those are lethal. So I think Azure Drake is killing one of these. If I go down to 19 by hero powering into this, hero power puts me to 17. Okay, he gave up. Wow, I can't believe I won that game. I had a crazy good draw and his was really bad.
Malfurion versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer, I must protect the wild.
Since I've got the wild growth, maybe I keep the Wrath. What would I rather have? 2 Innervates, 2 Doomsayers, Boon's Chosen, maybe Swipe. I think I'll keep the Wrath. If nothing else, I can cycle it. I think I'm actually just gonna Wrath this turn. Wild Growthing up to 4 doesn't actually do anything for my hand. I guess it would let me go Wrath Hero Power. But if I just Wrath here and then Wild Growth up to 5, then I can play Azure Drake or Nourish. And I think it would always be Azure Drake. No Spirit Claws, please. He has the Spirit Claws. Well, Disciple of Cthulhu is pretty nice here. Wonder if I'm just actually not going to play Wild Growth this game. I mean, depending on what he does here, I might just Wild Growth this turn. I probably need to draw Mulch this turn to have any chance at winning this game. Well, I really need the Mulch. I think I'd still rather have the Drake on board, though. Wonder if I could die this turn. He needs 10. Double Lightning Bolt. He would need 4. So Flame Tongue double Lightning Bolt actually kills me here. Well, I think this is the way to stop the most damage. He needs 1. If he doesn't have 1 here and I draw Mulch. If he didn't have 1 there and I drew Mulch, I could Mulch and then Feral Rage for 8. And then next turn I could Feral Rage for another 8. Looks like it's not going to last that long though.